says, beautiful house. Simon says, beautiful wife. Holy f***ing shit. This is probably the greatest mystery of 2015. It's a psychological thriller that I have not seen in over a year. Definitely takes the cake for 2015. If it goes on the DVD shelf, it's going to be somewhere between Gone Girl and Prisoners, because it's really f***ed up like Gone Girl, and there's a whole mystery element to it that just keeps unraveling, and it becomes more engrossing and pulls you in more and more and more. And wow, yeah, all I could say is that don't go see Fantastic Four. Looks like crap. It's got a 10% tomato meter. This was amazing. I think it's got like a 93 right now on the tomato meter, and it's well deserved. Go see The Gift. It stars Jason Bateman, Rebecca Hall, and of course Joel Edgerton, who wrote, directed, and stars in the movie as the antagonist to a young couple who moves from Chicago to California, and you know, they run into this guy in the mall, and he's like, "My name's Gordo, and I remember you from high school." And Jason Bateman, who's the guy he's talking to, is like, "Oh yeah, I don't think I remember you." And little by little, they start hanging out, and he keeps showing up and keeps showing up. And Jason Bateman's like, "I think you need to go." And the wife's like, "But he seems like such a nice guy." And then we realize that there's a little bit of a history between the two men, and Rebecca Hall is stuck in the middle trying to understand the things about Gordo and her husband, and trying to reconcile on who's really the good guy and who's really the bad guy. And what I love about this movie so much is that all three characters give powerhouse performances, and all three of them are very three-dimensional. You know, each three of them, there are different scenes in this movie where you feel compassion for all three, and you're kind of afraid of all three, and it kind of pulls you in many different directions. And when you think that you know who you want to get behind and cheer for, the movie kind of turns on you, and you start going, well, you know what, I don't know who I'm backing right now, but I'm on the edge of my seat. I can't wait until I figure out what's going to happen, until the very bitter end, and once the screen goes black, you're just jaw-dropped at what a shock of an ending this movie has. When you look back on this movie, and you know, after you watch it, and you're like, it's called The Gift. The title, The Gift, is going to have a whole different interpretation on what the gift actually is and how it ties together. Because, you know, you could see this picture of him, Joel Edgerton, holding a box, and it's like, okay, it's... nuh-uh. The Gift, it's like the Kaiser Soze of this movie. And I don't want to give it away, I'm not going to even hint at it, but it's definitely like Fight Club or Seven or the Usual Suspects. When you watch it again, you're going to be looking for all the little hints and signs and the red herrings and little clues along the way, and it's going to give you a fresh perspective. I might even go see it again. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and more than anything is that even though it was a little bit unoriginal for the original premise, you know, the setup of the movie, the cinematography was great. Joel Edgerton has a real eye for suspense and psychological thrillers that you're like, you know what, this guy has a little spark of Hitchcock. You know, it's not like, you know, a run-of-the-mill remake of what was the other one, Ouija, or Annabelle, where it's just like jump scare, jump scare, jump scare. It's like you got three characters and they've got layers to them, and you don't know what's going on, and you don't know who's stable and who's good and who's bad, and you know, each scene kind of moves along and you're like, where is this going? And I loved it. And for that reason alone, well, for all the reasons I mentioned, I have to give this movie an A+. I highly recommend it. Go see it. Seriously, it's what I like about it is that it's hypothetically possible that this could happen to you. I mean, is it likely? Will somebody from your past, you know, who has a grudge against you for some whatever reason, hunt you down and do things? And no, probably not. But there's lots of layers to this film, and they don't spoil any of it in the trailer. And even me talking about it, I feel like sooner or later I'm going to say something that's going to spoil it, so I'm not going to say anything more about it. It's a good Hitchcock type of film, and I really liked it. I highly recommend it. Go check it out. And as always, guys, if you like what you see, be sure to subscribe, leave your comments, and as always, thank you so much for watching, because you just got burned.